understand. The words translate to Allah is not dominion. Satan makes his intentions clear.
So you just saw the video. In the Marvel movie, they had in the background of one of the scenes, Astaghfirullah, saying stuff. We're going to play the clip. I don't even want to say the words Astaghfirullah. They had that in the Marvel movie.
Yes.
For the world to see. It's a sneak peek. Well, you seem not surprised at all about this.
I think you see it kind of differently.
Okay, subhanallah. Tell me, dude.
Okay. So from what I recall, that ship was Thanos's.
Okay. I don't know any of the...
Okay. Thanos is like the evil guy in the movie.
Yeah.
He's the one trying to... I mean, he's evil, right? He's against the world. He's trying to kill half the population.
Okay.
So for him to say that, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that also saying that, I mean, the whole narrative behind him is he's wrong in everything he does. He is an extremist. He is doing wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
And so they're showing this thing of it saying that.
This took a twist.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's a great example of what not to do, right? That's what they're
right. They're showing that's evil.
That's evil. Allahu Akbar. Well, that's the end of our clip. No one else caught that. I don't think. I watched a couple of videos. I don't think anyone else caught that.
Unless that was one of the good ships, but what I recall was one of the bad ships.
Okay. So you're fine with that being there?
It shouldn't be there, but I don't have a huge problem with it because it's saying something wrong, but from an evil person. It's not like the good characters have that on their stuff,
like
right?
on their chains or something.
Yeah, so it's not like saying like, oh, this is the right thing to do. It's like, hey, this is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that logic kind of aligns. So I saw it as a bad thing because I know in all the Hollywood's like movies and all the songs and everything we hear about these, we see all these subliminal messages everywhere, and they're always saying stuff for Allah against Allah. And like in the Katy Perry song, they made her re-edit the whole video because in one scene it had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name there, and astaghfirullah, a'udhu billah, she like crushed it or something, or it turned to dust, a'udhu billah. And she's an evil person in that show too. So I saw it as it's just a promotion of something evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can see how it comes off that way. I just don't see it because it's like the evil person showing evilness.
Yeah. So do you think they should keep it in there?
Huh?
So why they got to put it in Arabic? Don't you think it's a direct hit? Don't you think it's a direct hit towards Islam and Allah, putting it in Arabic too?
Was that in all of them, or was that only the ones that were released in like Saudi and other those parts of the world?
I don't know, idea. But honestly, one of the first things, you don't know what came to my mind? One of the first things was one of the ayahs in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about, O mankind, what has deceived you of your most generous Lord? I'm like, well, see, I saw that without your idea of that. I saw it as just like a shot towards Islam, a shot towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I was just so confused. Not confused, I was just like saddened almost. It was just like, what has deceived you of your Lord that you have become an enemy of Allah? The Lord, you and I sit here and talk about how Allah is the most merciful, most gracious, most good. He's literally giving us Jannah. Mm-hmm. If we don't go and kill people, if we don't go cause corruption in the land, what? He's going to reward us for it? Shouldn't it be normal to not do these things? And maybe get punished for the people who are the tyrants, but Allah is rewarding us.
Yeah, it's crazy because
you know what I'm saying?
It could have absolutely been, hey, if you're a bad person, you go to hell.
Yeah.
And the good people, nothing.
Yeah.
But he gave the good people, the people who do what you should be doing, Jannah.
So it's just like, what has deceived these people? Has someone whispered? Obviously, Shaitan, has he whispered something inside these people's ears to make them believe bad about Allah? That how can someone literally go against the Lord who's so merciful, so forgiving, so loving? The one who created us, bro. Imagine if you said, "A'udhu billah" to something extremely negative about your own father or mother. You came from them. This is even another level. This is Allah who created us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, He portioned you, He shaped you, and He made you a specific way Himself. And you're gonna say something like that? you know, like these people have been so fooled by shaitan. It saddened me. It's sad. I felt bad for them. Like the people who are actually thinking in that way. I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, it's and people are so, I mean, easily fooled by shaitan. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's a huge part of it, right? I mean, honestly, like let's take the assumption that it was a shot,
Okay.
right, at Islam,
Okay.
right? It was done by either a Christian, or it was done by a Yahudi,
Okay.
or it was done by an atheist / Satan worshiper, right? Whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they all would think that, hey, this is shaitan has slowly crept them into that point where they're saying, oh, that is what the problem is. That is people worshiping them are going to hell.
Wow. I don't know how anyone can be against Allah. We like, you know, Christianity claims Jesus is God. Their father, we worship in a sense, you know,
Yeah.
like the Jews, they all believe in one God too. How can someone say anything about Allah? The definition of Allah is the one and only God.
Illiteracy, a lack of knowledge.
My God.
I mean, there's still people in the world who think Allah is a different God than the Father and
Right.
Yahweh and you know,
Then the idea of what everyone has in their
right.
mind.
They think it's a completely different God, different religion,
Yeah.
completely different.
That's a very good point.
So to them, they feel like that Muslims worship some other entity other than God.
That's a very good point. You know, even atheists, for example, they don't believe. If you ask them if they believe in Allah, they'll say they don't believe in Allah. But they're like, "What do you believe in?" They're like, "Yeah, I believe there is some type of like higher energy. There is some type of thing out there." You know, it's the same thing as Allah, but they're the word, like you said, the people are ignorant to what the word even means. That higher source is Allah that they're talking about.
I was at a lunch a few days ago, talking to some coworkers that were not coworkers, but some people in a different company that are Japanese,
Cool.
and they were saying they don't believe in that. There's no organized religion in Japan.
Okay.
The reason for that is in the 1990s there was a cult.
Okay.
That cult enticed people in the way of God, using the name of God, enticed people that went on a terror. But because of that, today when people hear God, they think cult.
Wow.
So they've been so brainwashed by shaitan and by society where the word God comes up and they think, oh, this is just a cult, another cult.
It's just literally, that's amazing. It just goes to show how much information and how much dawah is needed in the world. You know, I mean, we're born Muslim, but majority of people maybe don't even know anything like you're talking about right now. Like, wow, it's so important to give dawah. You know, it's so important to just spread the words of Allah.
Very important.
Wow. Astaghfirullah.
Me and you have thought the same thing. Like, how do people not do research, right? How do people not look into different religions? How do people just, okay, it's at a school, but their lives, though their society has shaped them in a way where it's pushing them away.
You're right. What a depressing life that must be, to go about the social norms and all that nonsense that, you know, the world is spreading in the West and now around the whole world. Yeah, I think everyone's an autopilot, you know, everyone's like robots. They've become like robots, you know, they don't know what to believe themselves and they don't have a free wandering mind themselves for even a little bit, which is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran so many places, and do you not ponder? Imagine if people sat there and just, in nature, and just sat there and just thought.
I mean, you look how perfect they are. There's so many such perfect things like snow.
Yeah.
Snow underneath the lens is so perfect. How can that be something of randomness?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what freaks me out about snow is like the snowflakes are super small, right? Mm-hmm. But one night of those super small snowflakes will pile up to be God knows how long. And that kind of reminds me of our astaghfirullah, super astaghfirullah. Remind me of our good deeds and bad deeds. You know, all those small minor sins astaghfirullah we do that we don't think twice about. Overnight they can just pile up astaghfirullah to where you can't even drive your vehicle. It's
And the same way small good deeds pile up 10 times faster and allow you to take a snowmobile to work.
there you go.
Right?
Subhanallah, yeah. Well, I guess just ending thoughts is, you know, we're very popular on Instagram. We're very popular on YouTube. We're very popular on TikTok. And as we all know, we're the number one podcast, Muslim podcast in the world right now. Not the number one podcast right now, but the number one Muslim podcast. So if the people who created Marvel are watching this, which is very likely because we're top notch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they obviously had a bad meaning behind it, what has deceived you of your generous Lord, man? Like, seriously, sit there and think about it. God, oh God. And if it's a good thing, if they did it with the right intention.
Do it more, do it better. More direct marketing.
I promise you, this is going to be the only video ever that is going to have a reaction of saying, you know, he's a bad guy. So in a sense, you know, like, you know, they're showing a bad example of a person. So that's probably why they had it up there. I never thought of that, bro. Props to you, man. That's smart.
Oh, well, thank you.
But you're obviously not saying it's right still, right? Save your butt too, you know?
It's not right. There's better ways of showing that.
Right.
Right?
Subhanallah.
You got to put God is great on the superhero side, you know?
There you go. You didn't have to put the God mention on the back.
Yeah, you don't put God's name with a bad attribute ever. That should never be done.
That's some beautiful quotes, dude. Yeah, that's a really freaking good point, dude. I want to make sure, you know, no one got angry at you.
Thank you, bro.